Hi, sorry I couldn't make it. I'm in the human geography exam right now, so I won't be too jealous. I'm going to read you part of my essay. It's called Meet the Gablers. Despite the average age of women getting married rising from 18 to 31 in the last 20 years, the social contract of marriage hasn't changed much. Hedda Gabler is tall, dark, lovely, and at 28 quite old for a newlywed in the late 1800s. She's just returned from a honeymoon with her husband and is settling into her new life as a housewife, being left around the house to entertain herself all day, which she finds insulting to her untapped potential. In his play Hedda Gabler, Henrik Ibsen repeatedly uses the symbol of Hedda's pistols to represent her connection to the past, and the symbol of fertility to show Hedda's fear of what her new life may hold for her. These are used to develop the idea that the social boundaries currently placed on young women are not only dangerously constricting to the women themselves, but eventually to humanity as a whole. Hedda brings her most prized possessions from her maiden home, the pistols of her late grandfather, General Gabler. Her pistols are representative of her clutching onto her non-married life. She feels trapped within the confines of her marriage, and so holds on to anything that reminds her of her life before marital responsibilities. Her frequent use of the pistols frightens her new husband Tesman, leading to the following exchange. Well, at least I have one thing left to amuse myself with. And thank heaven for that. What is it, Hedda? My pistols, George. Your pistols? General Gabler's pistols. No, for heaven's sake, don't use the guns. No, Hedda. Nothing in her new life can hold her attention for much time, and she longs to be free to do what she could before she was married. This fascination frightens her husband, who is not used to such a forward-thinking woman with ideas of her own. Her defense of her weapons because they are a family heirloom only solidifies the connection she has to her identity as a Gabler by making the distinction that Tesman might be her husband, but he's definitely not her family. In her mind, Tesman represents the removal of her personal identity as he attempts to conform her into a homemaker, something which prevents her from viewing him with any sort of love or affection. Later on, Judge Brack comes to visit, and she's friendly up until he calls her by her married name. Once he does, she suddenly becomes upset and yells, "I'm going to shoot you now, Judge," and then fires her pistols off, hitting the ground next to him. Any reminder of her married life is quite literally shot down. The sense of entrapment she feels in her married life causes her to become both homicidal and suicidal, and long for the days of her past when she still had power and control, she convinces her ex-lover, Ellert Lufberg, to take his own life. She then gives him one of her pistols and watches him leave. The vine leaves give him an air of power by comparing him with the Roman gods who used to wear them. But the pistols, a symbol of all that was taken from her, is what's used to kill both her ex-lover and herself, is terribly poignant because it amplifies the sense of loss felt by the reader. Her past is what is preventing her present. And I think that's quite enough. Have fun reading.